So you're just getting started in the sourdough world, and let me be the first to welcome you. As you start making a starter and start baking with it, you will inevitably make a lot of mistakes. We all did when we started out. Foodgeek to the rescue. Hi, I'm Sune, and I'm a food geek. Today I'm going to talk to you about the most common mistakes that I see people make when they start out with baking sourdough bread. Mistake number 1. Trying to bake with a weak starter. I've seen lots of people trying to bake with a starter that doesn't grow when it's fed. For you to be able to use it in baking, it needs to grow when it's fed. So if you're building a starter, keep discarding most of it and feed it equal amounts of flour and water by weight. If you need specific instructions, I've made a video about how to successfully build a starter. Follow the card above. Mistake number 2. Using the float test. I've seen lots of people using the float test for both checking starters and gauging fermentation. The float test is actually not a hoax like some people say, but it is pretty picky and you need to use only bread flour for it to work effectively. For a starter to be ready to bake, it just needs to have grown. If you mark your container on the outside and it grows to at least double the size, you can bake with it. It's better for it to have grown 3 times the size or even 4 times. I explain how you get a starter that active in my video, my 5 best tips for your sourdough starter. Follow the card above. Mistake number 3. Not using the windowpane test. When you're building your dough, your best method to monitor the gluten development is the windowpane test. And it's really super simple. Grab the dough with 2 hands and pull a little piece up. Keep stretching the dough, and if you can pull the dough so thin that you can see light through it, you have excellent gluten development. If it breaks before that, the dough either needs more time, more agitation, or maybe you need to switch to a stronger flour with more potential gluten. If you're new to this channel, I bake a lot of sourdough bread and I make delicious food from all over the world. If you want to see more of this content, please join me by subscribing and ringing the bell so you won't miss any future videos. Mistake number 4. The use of whole grains and ancient grains. I see people starting out who really want to bake healthy bread, which I totally understand, but the fact of the matter is that it's much harder and different to use whole grains and ancient grains. Mistake number 5. Underproofing or overproofing your dough. When I first started out with sourdough, I was petrified of overproofing my dough, so I kept underproofing it. I got lots of oven spring, but inside the bread looked weird with big holes under the crust or generally weird holes that didn't look uniform. I see other people overproofing all the time. When you overproof, the food and the flour is used up by the starter and there's no rising power left in the dough. Also, when you overproof, the gluten might break down because of the acidity of the starter and you get a soupy mess that cannot be shaped. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a member at Patreon. You can also buy some merch or use the links in the description for tools and ingredients. Mistake number 6. Complicating things unnecessarily. I see lots of recipes that make things way too complicated. First, mix the flour and the water and do an autolyse. Then mix in the salt with the reserved water. Then mix in the starter. Then do slap and folds and coil folds, some up to 6 folds. By the time you're done with this, you probably forgot a step that might be fatal for the dough. Instead, you can just mix all the ingredients at the beginning, give the dough a rest for about an hour to let the gluten develop, then do a couple of stretch and folds or coil folds until you have a gorgeous dough. It doesn't have to be complicated. Mistake number 7. Bake longer. I see lots of people who don't bake long enough. If you underbake your bread, it will start out crispy, but after a while the moisture from the inside of the bread will seep out and the crust will become soft. So what you need to do is bake longer. I will usually bake for 20 minutes at 260 degrees Celsius, 500 degrees Fahrenheit with steam, and then 25 minutes at 230 degrees Celsius, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't like a crispy crust, you should still bake longer, but lower the temperature further in the second half of the bake. Learn how it affects your bread in your oven. Mistake number 8. Not using a Dutch oven. To get great oven spring, you need to add steam when you're baking. This steam can be self-steaming that happens when a bread is baking and the water inside starts to boil. If you keep the bread inside a small container, the steam will moisten the surface of the dough, meaning that it can grow longer without the crust setting. It doesn't have to be a Dutch oven, it can be a roasting pan lid or a Pyrex dish. Whatever can withstand the high temperatures in the oven. I'm using the Challenger bread pan for my baking and I'm really happy with this one. Follow the card above to see my review. Mistake number 9. Not using a baking steel or a baking stone. Many ovens heat inconsistently. Some places are warmer than intended, other places are colder. If you add a baking steel or a baking stone to your oven, it will absorb the heat and make the heat more evenly distributed. This is truly a head start in getting great bread. If you're serious about your baking, this is an essential tool. I prefer the steel because it has better heat retention and it never breaks. That's it for the common mistakes. If I forgot any, let me know in the comments and I might make another video on this topic. I hope you learned something today. See you next time.